Hello everyone, welcome to the Spoilercast on the Gamer Access. I am the introductory guy, Anthony Ta, and I'm joined by Sir John Macaluso.
What is up, everybody?
And Lord Bremenn Millan.
Yes.
Introduces himself, I guess.
Yeah, freaking jack the mic from their mute.
Well, you call him Sir, you know. I was like,
yeah,
I'll be
Lord
hired
Bremenn
as Sir.
Millan.
I am a Lord.
Okay, so this is the Spoilercast. So I'm going to throw the big disclaimer out there right now. As suggested by the name, on this podcast, we spoil everything. Because there are some games that are really hard to talk about. Yeah, we could spoil everything. But the reason why is some games are really hard to talk about or express how awesome it is. And you can't really express how awesome it is without spoiling everything. So that's why this podcast exists. It's been a long time. So, yeah. So for today, we're going to talk about The Witcher 3. John finished it a while ago. Gave the game a 10 out of 10. Bremen finished his second playthrough recently, and I just finished it yesterday. Yep. So, The Witcher.
The Witcher.
Amazing,
yes.
Amazing.
Amazing!
I think it's fantastic if you could somehow get past the first 5 or 10 hours. Just
so
go
it
around
starts out a little slow.
I mean, okay, so
this is true.
We might as well begin at the start of the game. First off, for someone like me who hasn't played The Witcher, it is kind of hard to figure out everything. Thankfully, they don't make it the most confusing thing in the world, but basically they said, oh, you got The Witcher, you've got mutagens in your blood, and, John.
Virus has been detected, uh-oh.
Yeah, sorry about that.
But it's like, you're Geralt, apparently Ciri is important. That's like one of the premises of the plot. Like right at the tutorial, you basically meet tiny little Ciri, and you're training her, watching her goof up, watching her run off, and
well, she someday inhabits the iPhone. That's why she's that important, bro.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Anyway,
but yeah, you're training little Ciri, and okay. I actually don't remember much after that because I think it was probably a good 2 or 3 week stretch before I finally started playing the game seriously again.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't take it seriously the first time?
Well, I didn't play it seriously as in spend significant amount of time in it because it was like, okay, here's Ciri. Alright, so follow the tutorial, follow this guy. And my original plan with the game was to shove through the main story as far as I can because I wasn't really feeling the side quests. I'm basically just traveling all over the place and I'm kind of not getting what I'm supposed to do. All I know is you are looking for Yennefer, which you find quickly. That's great. You find her. Then you meet some pompous emperor and he's like, okay, go find Ciri. I'm like, okay. And then became a giant case of you're following every single freaking lead for the next 5, 10, 15 hours looking for freaking Ciri. Which I felt slowed the game a lot, with the exception of that one part with the Baron. It's like, with the exception of the Baron, leading up to Novigrad, the big city, it's slow.
Well, I mean, I admit that it starts off slow, obviously. That's how they're trying to tell a story. They're trying to get you into what everything's going on. But, yeah, you're right. Once you get into it more, and you'll do the adventures, the Witcher contracts, and all the other story, parts of the story. That's where it gets really, really interesting. It gets good. In my opinion. It was fun. Like, even the first one that you had to do was kill a griffin,
Yeah, that was cool, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
The Baron and that Griffin is cool, because they basically just said, this is how you do a contract, which is one of the biggest things in the game that I never did, because, well, let's just say I took a contract at the beginning of the game after that Griffin, but it was that one that hid up in its nest, and you needed some kind of stink bomb or something to get it out, and I didn't have one, I didn't know how to make one, and I didn't know who sold one, so I gave up on it, and never did a contract again.
What?
So I probably need to do a few more if I'm going to evaluate the game at some point, but yeah. But yes,
My favorite thing about The Witcher is the monster contract. So awesome.
I need to do more of it.
Yeah, the monster contracts are
I
always
think
fun.
you'd like them.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, so what were you gonna say, Anthony? After that?
We're talking like the beginning of the game. So basically, it's just from the start of the game. I think they did a pretty good job of trying to introduce the game to someone who hasn't played it before, because you know how The Witcher 1, well, hardly anyone played it. The Witcher 2, okay, it's kind of a good favorite, but The Witcher 3 just exploded into the stratosphere of AAA status. So it's kind of like the Mass Effect 3 effect, where there's going to be a lot of people who are going to play this game who have never played The Witcher before, and I think they did a pretty decent job. Basically, you're supposed to look for Yennefer in some place called Vizima, okay? You go there. Now you're looking for Ciri, and I'm like, oh, tutorial Ciri, all grown up now. But then that's where I felt like things just kind of dove off the cliff a bit, because it's like, do you know where Ciri is? Well, I'll tell you, but you need to do this for me first. Okay, now that you've done this thing for me, I don't know where she is, but I can refer you to someone else who may know where she is.
You there, Anthony?
Yes, I'm here.
We lost him, dude.
Hello?
Oh, that
There
was
you
weird.
go. What happened, bro?
Oh, I think some internet hiccup.
So, as you were saying...
As I was saying. I'm gonna have to edit this. But, as I was saying, so at the beginning of the game, it's just like, okay, so you look for Yennefer. Okay, no problem. Yennefer is really important. Kind of establishes earlier that some unicorn was involved. Which, okay.
Yeah, unicorn, huh? Sorry.
Bremenn can explain that later if you're willing to.
Yeah, we'll
But
definitely
yeah,
talk about
Yennefer's
that later.
important. You find her relatively quickly. Okay. Then you get sent off to some royal palace in Vizima, whatever that place is. Apparently there's some giant war going on that's tearing the whole place apart. And you help the Emperor find Ciri. Hey, tutorial Ciri! Yeah, she's all grown up now. And then you spend like the next 10-15 hours looking for her. And I feel like this is kind of not good, because you're just running all over the place. But basically, you're just like, hi, I heard that you may know where Ciri is. Well, I'll tell you if you help me. Okay, I'll go and help you. You come back. Okay, I don't know where she is because she already left, but I may refer you to someone who maybe know where she is. And so you end up running around all over the frickin' place talking to maybe about 15 or 20 people before you frickin' even have a good trail on Ciri.
Fair enough.
So, to me, the game just felt like a really big drag until you reach the city of Novigrad. So, like, the story's just not good for that really long stretch.
Well,
I'm not joking, the side quests were a lot more interesting than the main story, because I actually came a point when I'm like, okay, I'm 200 leveled, I don't have any money, I don't have any gear, time to do side quests. And that was actually a lot more entertaining than the main story. Especially once you reach the city of Novigrad, like that's like one of the most awesome cities in the game. Actually, it's one of the most awesome cities I've ever seen in any game.
Yeah, totally agree.
So yeah, side quests.
I totally agree with you that essentially everything from the beginning to Novigrad is a giant fetch quest. You do favors for someone else, they give you a little hint as to where Ciri is, but like you were just about to say, side quest is what like makes the world feel real, and that's where I might have not liked the writing from that time as far as the main story is concerned. However, the side quests, like the side quests with the Baron, the side quests with the witches at Crookback Bay or Crookback Bog, sorry.
Brokeback Bog?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That place is screwed up.
Yes, and it's stuff like that. It's side quests that feel like a main quest that really kept the game flowing for me. Whereas, like, sure, I was doing all these fetch quests, but it didn't really feel like it because I was invested. I wanted to know where the Baron's wife was. I wanted to know what the hell was up with these crazy witches.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know, I
with
wanted
the ears and all that crap.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was like, not only that, but you know, when you make that choice at that tree, whether or not to kill that spirit, all of a sudden you want to know what happens. You know, what happens if I do? What happens if I don't? And then if you do or if you don't, you want to know how is the world around me going to change, because it does.
Well,
And the
speaking
way
of,
it changes is really, really, really subtle. So the way you find out is literally by going back. So what were you going to say,
speaking of,
Brem?
out of curiosity, what did you guys do with that spirit? Did you
I killed
free
it.
it? I freed it.
I also freed it.
I killed it partly because I cheated with the guide.
You cheated.
Yeah,
You
because
cheated
sometimes you cheat as like, I want the best possible outcomes. You open up a guide and figure out what's the best possible choices. That being said, though, I did not use a guide. That being said, though, I didn't use a guide when I went to the ending of the game. But as far as that one decision, because I was like, I feel like I want to help this spirit out, but at the same time, there's something really wrong with this tree. Something just isn't right.
Yeah, I freed it, though.
So, Anthony, some crazy, crazy shit happens if you don't kill that spirit. So, Bremen, feel free to chime in case I miss anything, or especially if you like completely got something different. But
Okay.
what ended up happening was I let the spirit survive, right? And what ended up happening was the spirit was set free, and it saves all of those children from the witches.
Yes.
And you go back, and you're like, I did what you asked me to do, but the spirit lives, and blah 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 blah. And the witches are pissed. So, did you do the Baron's side quest?
Yes.
Well, I mean, Anthony, did you do the Baron's side quest?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how his wife is with the witches, right?
Yes.
Well, the witches torture her and turn her into a water hag because they think that she let the children free, or she, didn't stop the spirit when it came to take them. So that happens, and eventually you go and tell the Baron, hey, that's your wife, and she's now a water hag under the witch's control, and blah blah blah. So the Baron gets a small band, and his daughter ends up joining as well. And you go and you try to take her back from the witches. Well, as it turns out, things, of course, in The Witcher don't end up pretty and happy.
Not always.
She dies, the mother. So the water hag dies, and the Baron thinks it's his fault and stuff. And he's like, okay, Geralt, I'll pay you for your services. Just meet me back at,
But his daughter also, he tries to get his daughter back too, but his daughter denies him also.
Yeah. And so, finally, he's like, I'll give you the money I owe you. Just come back to, I can't remember where the Baron's place is, or the name of it. But
Crow's Perch.
Thank you, Crow's Perch. So you head back to Crow's Perch on your own time. So, whenever you feel like it. And he hung himself.
Okay.
His body is hanging from the tree in the courtyard.
Yep. And like his sergeant's right there and just said told you what happened. He up and hung himself, all that shit.
Okay, so I made the decision to kill the spirit, and what happened is, I forgot what happened. Did some old man give you the mission to go take care of the tree? I forgot.
No,
it was the
witches.
witches.
It was the witches.
Okay, I don't remember that part. What I did remember I have no idea.
Oh wait, you're talking about the old man who cut off his ear at the end, right?
Yes, I forgot if he was the guy that gave me the mission to go deal with the tree. I forgot what happened, but I did know.
He was only the guy that you let him know that the witches sent you. That's all he is.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so the wife lived. The wife is still physically intact, even though she's gone mental in the head. Baron comes by, and wow, look at that! The daughter is also there with her order
Templars.
Yeah, the Templars, basically. Yeah, Templars. And so, basic daughter, father, pissed off, yell at each other. Who the hell takes mommy back? And apparently, the whole place gets attacked because I think the witches weren't happy. This was a while ago, and that happened. And Geralt gives his analysis, and the Baron decided that he may know somebody who can help cure whatever doo-doo screwed up that's going on in the mother's head. So he takes her away, and that's how that Baron line ended for me.
So was he alive, or what happened to him?
The Baron lives. He's just that he went on a really long travel with the mother to try and cure her, in search of that one person to cure her. Whether he actually found that person, I do not know, but he did not hang himself, and the mother lives.
Wow.
The daughter had to, because she joined the order, she had to serve it. So that's how that ended.
Wow.
So, Anthony,
So it did not. So it did not end up. So yes, my questline did not end with a fat bloke hanging on a tree in the courtyard.
So you actually reminded me of something, Anthony. So you know that little village you visit, where you meet the guy who needs to cut off his ear.
Yeah.
So from our storyline, when you let the spirit go, Bremen, I don't know if you went back to visit, but when you go back, everyone is slaughtered. And the guards are like, "Do you know what happened here?" And you being Geralt, you're like, "I have no idea." And then someone comes out of a burned down shack, and they say a spirit came through here and massacred everybody. And it was the spirit that you let go inside that tree.
Yeah.
Great.
It happens,
Yeah.
yeah. But see, I don't know, are those villagers really that evil, though, that you think they deserve that?
No, absolutely not. But it's the world of The Witcher where messed up things happen.
Yes. The civilians, probably not.
Wow.
Yeah. It was brutal. Like, that part caught me off guard, because it's like you made a decision that turned out okay for somebody, but ended up very badly for somebody else. So it's like, and I felt this way a lot throughout The Witcher. There is no right decision. You make a decision, somebody is okay with it, the other person is fucked.
It's already a hard enough decision as it is, when it's like, or hey Siri, you could, go back to your dad, or we can be on the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Baron line that actually was pretty good. That was a nice interest keeper for a little bit. Which, by the way, speaking of the Baron line, I remember this stuck in my head really easily. So they said, so that child that that was a result of the miscarriage. Okay, she was not, soul's not in peace or whatever, not buried properly or whatever. And Geralt's like, well, that child could be a botchling.
Yeah, I remember that.
And now you're going to have to go find it. So I'm like, okay. So I looked in the glossary to read about this botchling, or what botchlings are like. And it wouldn't give me a picture. It only gave me a silhouette of a botchling. And I'm like, okay, this cannot be pleasant. You go to the grave, and there's the botchling. And you're asking the Baron to hold this miscarriaged child.
Yeah.
To give it a proper burial and put its soul to peace, so you can find
turn it to a guardian.
Yeah.
Instead of a threat, it'll become a guardian.
Lumberkin. That's what it was, a lumberkin. And I'm like, okay. Right. Yes, sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That part was legitimately hard to play through. Just not because it was I wasn't disgusted or disturbed or anything. It was just sad and depressing.
It's like you find out how the miscarriage happened, because the Baron started off by telling you, yes, the wife is awesome, and my child, she ran the place, and then the child just tells you a completely different story, and you're like, whoa, okay. Then you see the room, and you see it to be a complete mess, and then you found out that the self-proclaimed Baron, is a drunkard who has a a habit of losing it.
So there's domestic problems.
Yes, there's some domestic problems there.
Yeah.
So I mean, but still, those kind of that's the thing that made me enjoy that game is the storytelling. It really was good. Like even little quests like that, where it's like you wouldn't think it's part of the whole, or not even the Baron actually. There's like other stories there that where you do side quests, like John was saying, side quests where it's that have nothing to do with the story, but you play them. And then you learn more about it. What's going on?
One of the side quests that I did not do that I really wish I need to go back and do because it really does change the story is I didn't bother going about the whole line and finishing who gets to be next king and who dies. I didn't do that because I was out. Well, here's the thing: you're supposed to what was it? You're killing. You're out. Like there was a side quest that I did only like part of it, but I didn't finish it because I was in a rush to finish the game last night. Where you get to choose who's the king of Radovid. Like, are you gonna kill? Wait, who was the king's name? Radovid's the king's name, right? Yeah, whatever the country's name is. You could choose to kill the king, assassinate the king, and pick a new leader. But I didn't do that because I was in a rush to finish the game, and guess what? All the mages died, and man, that sucked.
Yeah, see, I killed Radovid for that reason, because I was like, dude, that's messed up. And I always hated that about that part of history where, the real one, where they burned witches, just think it doesn't matter who it was, they suspected you of being witch.
Yeah, the witch hunts.
Yes. That's why I was like, dude, I hate this king. I am killing him. I am definitely in on killing this dude when they proposed that to me.
If you are someone who likes Triss Marigold, like me, of course you're going to go kill that guy.
Yeah, of course you like Triss Marigold. She's very voluptuous.
If you like Yennefer or Triss in that game, yeah, of course he has to die.
Yes, very true.
If you like magic, which makes your life easier, that guy has to die.
Speaking of which, guys, how about some of them romances? How did those play out for you guys?
Well, I screwed up Yennefer's and went with Triss.
I already told you guys before. I went with Yennefer because one, I love girls with English accent. And two, she is pretty bloody hot.
She is coldly pragmatic. I'll put it that way.
No, she
is a huge bitch. Especially compared to Triss. Triss is like an amazing sweetheart. But Yennefer is like always snappy.
Yennefer is just like everything in the name of success. So I'm just gonna suck the life out of this garden and practice some necromancy because we need information now.
Hell yeah!
And man, that necromancy scene, that was screwed up.
Also,
you could literally hear that guy definitely feel the pain of coming back from the dead temporarily.
Actually, I agree. Yes. You guys end up doing it different for Ciri too, because it's also part of that storyline.
Wait, what?
Ciri, remember there was that dude that was dead? He liked her, and then you could either make her do the romance with him or not. And I was like, nah. I like to keep Ciri pure.
Assuming what Yennefer was doing to it, I didn't want Ciri to just start a romance with that guy and then just find out that, oh, he died, but then Yennefer practiced some necromancy to, force information out of him.
Cool, man.
Killing a guardian in the process.
Cool, dude.
Man, that was just screwed up. But yes, that's why I'm not really that's why I'm not really into Yennefer, and that's why I'm like, oh, you know what? I think it's probably good that I screwed up the Yennefer's romance line.
I mean, I was more than into Yennefer. I was, in.
Yeah, she's not my type. But the reason why I messed up Yennefer was that there was a side quest that she asked you, hey, can you help me with this one thing in Skellige? And I forgot to do it. And therefore, and even when I failed the quest, it even put in a description for the story how it goes. Geralt was so tired of being an errand boy, he completely ignored it.
But that was okay. Is that what it really said?
It actually, I have the game running right now to get me into the Witcher boot, so let me find it.
So that's what you're when you finish it. That's what happened. But it said,
Though Yennefer had made it clear the matter was important to her, Geralt made it equally clear he was in no mood to be her errand boy yet again. He left her in Skellige and returned to his own affairs.
wow. Oh well.
Yeah,
Everybody has their own
Yennefer got
choices.
really pissed off at Geralt when they went back to Kaer Morhen, so there you go.
Yeah, I did something similar, except so some quests on there are timed, and I
Are
had
they
no
really?
idea. Yeah, so
Really?
like, if you don't do a quest right away, it might go away because like if a day goes by or 2 days go by, the NPCs know it. And so they'll be like, "Oh, you weren't there," or "Oh, you missed the time," or "Oh, this or that."
Oh yeah,
Like, I don't know.
You remember at the beginning of the game where this girl was just laying there dying from a brain hemorrhage or something like that, and you
in
got maybe a
the
day.
in the herbalist house.
Yeah, you got maybe a day.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
else
you actually.
she dies in a really painful way. Like, she was going to be dead anyways, but you can soften the blow. But I was like, I don't even know what you're looking for, so peace. And then she died.
That's messed up, Anthony.
Yeah.
I at least
I mean,
helped her.
and that's what happened with Yennefer. Her quest is a time quest, so I missed it.
I failed it because I hit Kaer Morhen.
Oh, okay.
Because Because it's like you're supposed to help her before you went to Kaer Morhen, because at that point she has to return to Kaer Morhen for story purposes.
Yeah.
That's why the quest failed.
Very nice, Anthony.
Yeah. I forgot it existed. Okay, I forgot she was like, I need help with something, and I'm like, I just want to finish the game, okay? Siri, that's all that matters. I gotta go to the Owl of Mist and find her. Which I hate that place, by the way.
Out of mist, yeah. Well,
It's
it
just
wasn't that hard.
It wasn't hard, but I just hated places like that, where it's just like, oh, it's some weird Lost Woods type of place, and
You like how the little Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs kind of vibe they gave you?
that's what it reminded me of. I was just like, how did these dwarves just randomly get here, and now in the world are they gonna just randomly go back?
Well, I'm talking about the fact that one is sleepy. You could tell.
Yeah,
like, who's
and
who.
you're walking along, and you're just like, "Arr."
There's 7 dwarves. And
Well, there was only, what was it?
there was that idiot dwarf, the one who freaking you saved, and he fucking fell. That's what he should be called. He should be called Idiot Dwarf.
How did
Something.
he even get up on that rock? That's what I don't
You'll be
understand.
surprised how hard someone can climb when they're being chased by things that can eat them.
Fair
You'll
enough.
be surprised. But yeah, that dwarf is like, oh, you saved, oh, and I'm just
I know,
like,
it's...
you just sit there and you're just like, really, dude?
Did you
Really?
he was like, did that motherfucker just fall down by himself? He freaking dodged. What is it? What was it? Hags or what was it? The
It
monsters
was the
that were like.
harpies.
Oh yeah, he dodged all those gals and then he falls. Freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, I just sat there, and you just sit there and you're just like, what the hell? That's all you could think of, right?
Yeah, I mean, ridiculous.
I mean,
I think
at
only
least-
one made him, and he was the one that was like falling asleep.
Yeah,
He was
narcolepsy
falling
guy.
asleep on top of the lighthouse, and he's like, I suffer from this problem, yawn. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I hate that guy.
Yeah, that was.
It's
that
like,
was not
how
fun.
did you not get killed? Because clearly you couldn't sleep.
Sorry, that's the ice cream truck in my neighborhood.
I was
like-
gonna say, Jesus.
Oh, they're like
But yeah,
the
I
kids.
just like, the guy that falls asleep, how can he stay awake long enough to even reach that lighthouse?
Kind of makes you wonder, like, how is he able to survive? Everybody else is sane, actually died.
At least, okay, look, at least the other guy that died by being attacked and died with dignity versus the dude that fell off because he got too
that
excited.
That was no dignity there. That was stupidity.
That guy, like, that dwarf is, oh my goodness.
There's nothing else that can describe that stupidity.
Yeah.
How about who fought in the Battle of Calmoran for you guys?
Sorry, go ahead, Andy.
I got Zoltan, I think is his name.
Yeah.
I got Zoltan, I got, Kira Metz.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got
I got her too.
Oh.
What?
So wait. Did you do Kira's storyline?
Yeah,
side quest?
you went to like the Falcon. What was it called? The Falk Isle or something like that.
Yeah, that's not all you got. That wasn't all you get to Folk.
That place is screwed up too because it's like you reach the top and you find a ghost. It's like, so what happened to you? Oh, I took a sleeping potion, and when I became conscious again, I couldn't move, and I was being eaten by rats.
Yeah, I am curious about that. What did you choose on that one?
I told her just like, what did I choose? I just told her.
You're like, go fuck yourself?
No.
No, she's still alive in his game.
Wait, what?
After Gero and Kira had a night,
wait a minute.
She wanted to run off with this notes from that dude. Notes on the disease that he was taking. She wanted to run off with those notes.
Yes,
I forgot what I said, but I know that one of the options was, just go to Kira Morin, and that's how she went there.
What? I didn't have that option yet. We were still at that phase where,
I forgot what I said. I think I told her that she could... I don't know. Like, I wasn't exactly being a dick. I didn't have Geralt be a dick to her. It was just like, okay. It was like, I think I'm kind of letting her doing it, but also warning her a lot. But there was an option that you could say, go to Kaer Morhen, and that's how she was there.
I see why now. I could kind of see why you had that option, because you were probably, you were doing it differently. You did a different, what do you call it? There's different ways to do, like, different ways to do missions and stuff like that, and you can do the other ones later, so that's probably why you...
It was, okay, I let her keep the notes, but I told her to go to Kaer Morhen because problems may happen.
Yeah?
I think that's how the general dialogue went.
Okay.
And that's why she was there.
The one I'm actually going to be curious about is, remember when you go to that isle, the Folk Isle, after you guys folked around, what did you do for the spirit? Because remember, she asked you a favor.
She seemed really nice, so I took her to the dude, and the dude died.
Yeah, she killed him,
because she was that pissed.
Yeah.
Did you do that too, John?
So it was crazy. You walk away, and then you hear him screaming. So you're like, what the fuck? So you run back in as fast as you can. And that was that, man.
And you just sit there, you're like, oh, I screwed up, didn't I?
Really? Because I did the exact opposite. What happens is if you don't help her get bottled up and stuff, you actually talk to the guy, and you convince the guy to go to her over to the island.
Yeah,
right?
I did the same thing.
Oh, I thought you said that was the one where the one Anthony did.
So wait. So you didn't bring her remains?
No, I didn't bring her remains.
Oh, okay.
I convinced. So, I basically convinced
him
dude
to like bury her, or whatever.
It's just like, yes, I told him, it's like, look, bury these remains, and she will be at peace. Okay. Walked out the door, heard screaming, and I'm like, oh, God.
That's what happened to both of you guys. Mine was different.
Yeah.
Like I said, I instead told the guy when I spoke with him, like, hey, she's really pissed and all that shit. And then my Geralt suggested that he go to her. Oh no. He suggested he go to her. At first he was reluctant, I think, if I remember. And then afterwards he agreed to go there. So you take him there, and once you get to the tower, I forgot what happens. There was some kind of fight sequence first, because she turns to that ghoul, you fight her, and after that, you get it. He gets to choose, because like one of the choices was, in order to appease her spirit, if I remember correctly, he had to make out with her, like kiss her, because show her how much she loved him. But the problem is, her face was a ghoul, so you know what I mean. Not very tantalizing for a kiss. So after a few dialogues that they have, he goes for it. He kisses her, and as he went for the kiss, she turns into normal. But then they both die. It's like
Holy crap.
She takes him with him. They both go to heaven or whatnot. I was like, really? So either way, he's gonna die. from what it sounds like now.
Well, at least they can both die being at peace instead of his entire body being roached out of anger.
Yeah, that's true. But I thought when she turned to normal, that was it. That she would be at peace and that would be it. But apparently he dies from that process. So they both die, but they live in peace. I guess you can call it that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what John said about Witcher's story sometimes being like most of them they're pretty fucked up no matter what you do. It's true. It's like, well, okay, I thought this was gonna be ending well, but I guess no matter what, it looks like whatever choice I did on that time, he dies. He either dies horribly or they both, die.
I honestly probably would have went through the effort for that nicer ending instead of having my heart drop when I heard him scream. Because when that happened, I'm like, it just catches you off guard because you think, oh, I bring these remains and he agrees to bury her, and I'm like, okay, good, this will be solved. Shut the door, and oh shit.
Yeah.
Because I ran back and I was just like, oh man, this can't be good. And there was his dead body, and then the ghost went poof, and I'm like, sorry, Sir Fisherman?
Yeah,
kind of back to like a broader, like a main storyline kind of thing. I killed Kira.
Really?
Yeah. So you guys know how she was trying to make that weapon, right?
Yeah, but all right, go on. I won't say my shit.
Yeah,
yet.
well, I guess whatever dialogue option I chose, as it turns out, we just ended up fighting, and I killed her.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. So like, she was not
curious.
at my battle of.
Well, I kind of knew that one of the options when in the dialogue, I kind of saw one of the dialogues as being like, "Oh, this is going to lead to a fight," so I knew I dodged that for a reason, and I guess that was good.
Yeah, see, for me, it was the okay, you can do it, but I'm doubting this is a good idea. Was like what I kind of told her.
Yeah, because I still gave her the papers. Honestly,
speaking of which, I am very curious, John. Did Lambert die during the Battle of Kirmor?
He did,
well,
yes.
Yeah, this is a spoiler cast.
Yeah, that is meant to happen.
Yeah, that was beyond control.
If Kira Metz lived and went there, he's saved.
What?
And they traveled together to get whatever that research is done. Lambert would have been saved if Kira Metz was there.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean the young guy, Lambert? Oh, wait.
The guy who is the Witcher who's a constant asshole.
Oh, okay. No. I'm sorry. He totally lived. Sorry. For some reason, I thought you were talking about the old man.
Oh, no, that's Vesemir.
Hold on.
Vesemir is supposed to... No, it is my fate to die and send Ciri into a rage.
Yeah. For those who are curious, I promise I played the game. I just do not remember names for anything.
Okay, so wait a minute. What you're saying, Anthony, is so if you let Kira Metz die, that you're saying that asshole Witcher guy is going to die too?
Actually, I don't know.
Because
I sent
Kira Metz up there, and she saved him.
Oh, well, yeah, that's weird. And John, you killed Kira Metz, so
yeah,
and the guy still lived.
So yeah, I killed her, but Lambert survived. So
okay,
all
that
the
one
Witchers
scene,
minus Vesemir died or survived.
Because I remember Lambert was on the ground about to die, and Kira was standing up towards the gate switches or whatever, and did something. And Lambert and Kira just ended up traveling together after that for whatever ending they got.
So basically, John, yours was minus Kira, but were you able to get what's his name to join you? Freaking who the hell that fat dude is?
No, Dijkstra. No, I could not get Dijkstra to join me.
Dijkstra basically gave me the finger and said, "You didn't find me my money, so F off."
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
Pretty much the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing we all did the same was. I couldn't find that damn money. Where the fudge was it?
It's like I'm supposed to find Dandelion who knew where the money was, but apparently somewhere along the story everyone forgot about finding the money at all. So Dijkstra's pissed. Or in his words, "I don't owe you shit," is what he said. Dijkstra, you can never tell if he's actually trying to be helpful or just being a dick.
Well, did you do the The one where you had to kill the king Radovid?
If I did, okay, I read on this, and if you did kill the king and put Dijkstra on, country's alright.
Well, no, because you end up killing Dijkstra too.
Or you can choose not to.
Yeah, but I chose to kill him because he was going to kill the other guys.
What did you
See, here's
kill
the
him
thing:
for?
the whole king line's gonna be spoiled to me because
Well, he was
I didn't do it.
He was gonna kill. What's his name? What's his Geralt's friend's name? Roach?
Triss?
No, Roach. He was gonna kill Roach.
Roach is his horse.
Oh no.
No, he's talking about Vernon Roach.
Vernon Roach.
Oh, yeah, I'll kill Dijkstra.
Yeah,
wait,
see.
When did that happen?
Remember when you were killing after you killed Radovid and freaking it's actually you don't kill Radovid. It was your.
Alright, guys. Alright, I've got a confession to make. I did not do that King's Quest.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't do it either,
it was Bremen, you know how I was talking about those time quests?
Yeah.
It was timed, and I went to go do something else real quick, and I came back and it was too late.
Yeah. See, I went because I made sure I did it because I was like pissed. I was like, dude, fuck that, man. Burning anybody who doesn't matter who it is. Fuck that shit, you know. Because it was, because it's true. Like the way they the way they portrayed him in that game, you really hated that. He's like Joffrey in Game of Thrones.
Oh God.
He's like Joffrey. So you're like, fuck that, man. He gotta die. This boy gotta die. so the first time they offered that mission to like, hey, we're gonna kill Radovid. I'm like, hell, I'm in. Fuck that.
Here's some good news. Here's the good news for the survival of Roach is a good thing because obviously Dijkstra is going to give you the finger and say you didn't find my money. So yeah, but with Roach, if you help Roach and you went and find his really disobedient soldier,
half-naked soldier, yeah,
her name's Vess, I think. They will both go to Kaer when you need their help. They'll both go to Kaer.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know how much of an effect that had, but. You know, hey, every little bit helps.
Yeah, he made bombs, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Actually, I liked having them. They were better. They were probably better than freaking Dijkstra.
Well, Dijkstra can't actually fight because of his leg.
Well, I know that.
Geralt did.
Yeah. Dijkstra can't fight because of his leg, and I'm pretty sure. I am a witness of that because I killed him.
I also got Ermion, but I think that was an easy one.
You got who?
Ermion, the druid from the Skilgate Isles.
Yeah, I did.
Well, that guy was easy. That guy's easy just because there's apparently some really long backstory. It's like, I help raise Ciri. Of course I'll help. And then he'll go.
Well, the easiest one to get is Zoltan because he's not going to say no to Geralt.
Yeah, plus the Skilgate guys, they were freaking... especially when it came to not the queen. I made her queen, by the way. Not the.
Yeah, I also made her queen.
But the other her brother is like really like he's like, oh, you're a friend of the family. I can't refuse you. So I'm like, oh, that was easy. That was fucking easy.
Hi, help me, of course.
But that's about it. Like it was kind of weird. I shipped Triss off, and then she just randomly showed up.
So you told her that you loved her, right? That's what you did?
No, I told her, see ya.
Really?
Yeah.
She showed up at Kaer Morhen?
Yeah, you didn't have her show up on yours?
You didn't get her to show up?
No. She showed up because I I romanced her, so obviously she was there, and I was like, okay, so Novigrad, screwed up place. That Radovid guy, yeah, he's gonna kill everybody. So go to Kaer Morhen, you'll be okay there, even though the whole place is falling apart, and there's gonna be the Wild Hunt there when I find Ciri in 30 hours. Good luck. And
interesting.
Yeah, so I thought Triss was there because the Hotel Romance are telling her it was a safe place because of all the witch hunts that are going on in Novigrad.
So
that's interesting. So I sent her away actually on a boat to some distant land, and she ended up coming back to help me in the battle.
Yeah, because
Yennefer invited her.
Exactly. Yeah. Because that's what happened to me.
That makes sense.
So there's a lot. I mean, obviously,
I thought,
people are listening, that it's obviously there's a lot of different ways you could do it, or maybe a couple of ways you could do it that are different, but it ends up the same anyway when it comes to the Triss and Jennifer part.
When it comes to the story, you can't change anything but the ending.
Yeah.
The main story. But, with Triss, I really thought I screwed up the romance when she still got on that boat, even though I said all this nice stuff to her. Until, Dijkstra was like, Geralt, turn around, and Geralt was just like, oh, you jest. Which, by the way, is one of the most overused words you hear in the game. Jesting. But, yeah, she's just like, no, turn around. Turns around, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Triss is back! This is awesome!
You're like, I love you!
Yeah, I should have said that, because Yennefer's a bitch.
Oh, shut up. I love her.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, until she comes up with some really coldly pragmatic plan that involves sacrificing you, and she'll have no problem with it.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm perfectly happy with my choice.
If you say so.
But anyway, yeah, that it proves that there is a couple of ways. But I've heard there's 34 different endings. So how does that work?
Well,
what could you possibly?
You've got 3 for the main story, but there are other endings like, did Geralt romance anybody? Did the Baron stuff? That's endings too for that subplot.
Was there a thing there where
did you bother helping the Skilly Isles pick a king, or did you solve? Did you kill Radovid? And if you did kill Radovid, who's the emperor? Did the North or the South win the war?
The rest come from small side quests. So it's like there are 3 ways that the main quest can end, but many other ways that side quests can go that alters the way the game ends, but only slightly.
Okay.
So while we're on that subject, how did your guys' games end?
You start, Anthony.
Ciri became a Witcher, which I want to go through. I thought I got the bad ending because I thought I got the bad ending because I remember the 2 final critical decisions you make is do you let her ransack the elf sage's place, which by the way I was laughing the whole time because it was just funny watching the 2 of them just grinning at each other.
The whole scene was adorable.
I just thought, oh man, this is awesome. I just can't help but be happy for it too, because Geralt's just like, whoops, and then they just trashed the place, and even Yennefer joined in. And I thought that was hilarious. It was sweet. And the other one was visiting Skjald's grave, because he helped, and it's probably nice to visit his grave considering all the crap he went through and being brought back partially from the dead. I felt really sorry for the guy. So, yeah, sure, let's give him a proper grave. Screw the customs here. Because everyone gets pissed off at you.
Yeah, I said screw them.
Yeah, those were the 2 final critical decisions. And the other critical decision was, did you go to the Emperor about this? I forgot how the Emperor thing works. In one of the quests, you could go to the Emperor, and I think you bring Ciri? I don't know.
Yeah, that was before. It was before
it's up to
you. Yeah.
You can, because
I chose
never
not
brought
to because...
Ciri.
Yes, I chose not to because Ciri was in a hurry to climb up a mountain. So I'm like, okay.
I did it because I was like, I didn't take her to the Emperor, but my reason for making her just go ahead and do it, I'm like, yeah, fuck the Emperor.
Yeah, and I just when she went into the portal to take care of the White Frost, they only played 2 flashback scenes, and that really worried me because normally when you need past decisions to help the survival of a person, you try and build up this giant mountain of goodiness to help that person survive, and they only played 2 flashback scenes, and then there you go. Then it was all over, portal closes, Ciri didn't come out of it, and I'm like, okay, what happened now? Story plays along, Geralt goes to the Emperor, yeah, your daughter's dead for good. And I'm like, shit. And then Witcher rides along, yada yada yada. And I actually opened up a guide because I was like, man, I don't have time to see other endings. I might as well read up on the other ones now. I only read the bad ending and it said Ciri dies. I'm like, oh crap. Ciri did die because it said something about Geralt would ride off and fight. And I'm like, well, he's riding off back to the starting area and he's getting a sword. I didn't read the other two endings. He got a sword. And then I read the other two endings while that sword was happening, and it was Ciri becomes the Empress. And I'm like, well, that flat out didn't happen because obviously Geralt just told the king that she's dead. And the other one was Ciri becomes Witcher, and I'm like, oh, well, I don't see her alive right now. Until Geralt starts riding back to the first town you walked in, which is that very same town that Bronson started a bar fight.
Yeah.
And then there's a person sitting at the table. And I'm like, wait a minute. Geralt just got a sword that has the elven word for swallow on it.
Well, you choose that.
Yeah, I chose to have that simple name on there. And there's a person sitting over there. And that person was frickin' Ciri. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. This is fantastic.
That's exactly what I thought. So I thought that it was going to be Zolt or somebody. Like, I'm like, okay, this game wants me to think that it's Ciri, but they're about to throw a curveball at me. It's going to be someone random like Zoltan, or like maybe a Vesemir that didn't completely die or something like that, or Yennefer or Triss or somebody. Then it turned around and I was like, yes! Yes.
Ciri became a Witcher. She got trained. She's on the path. But the story also kind of said that they went on their separate ways eventually. I imagine it's not entirely separate because you don't go in your separate ways when like freaking Geralt and Ciri are that close.
Well, the other thing you gotta realize too is remember when you watch that credits, it will tell you.
Yeah, it told me that Geralt and Ciri kind of sort of went their separate ways, and like that can't be 100% true because they care too much about each other.
But, yeah, but didn't it tell you about Triss and stuff?
Yes. Since our romancer Triss retired, nice place. Triss is making bank, being some advisor. Geralt occasionally goes out and kills something because he's just how he is. Ciri is like a full-time Witcher.
Out of the iPhone now. Got it.
Being everyone's personal intelligent assistants for slaying monsters on those contracts. But yeah, that's what happened. Ciri lived, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome.
So, I'm assuming all of us have gotten that ending, right?
Yeah. But there was, remember, I did another ending. I had my first ending.
I want to know about that ending, Bremen. What ending did you get?
My first ending that I told you guys when, I said I wasn't too happy about it, was the one where Ciri, supposedly, she died. She didn't survive that place. It doesn't prove that she died, but, that's the assumption. She dies. And then, so they show Geralt going after. There's the one of the cinematics is they show Geralt go to one of Brokeback Bog, whatever it's called, Brokeback Bog. They went over. He went over there. Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, Brokeback Bog, whatever it's called. Where the witches were, those 3 witches.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So he was actually hunting down the witch that stole the necklace from Ciri. So
the one that survived.
Yes. So you get to play that part where you're gonna fight her, like they give you hordes of enemies to fight her with. And you go through it. Obviously it was pretty easy for me because like I fucking maxed out my force field, so I was like every time I blocked I get healed. So so I finished that, I killed her. And he kills her, he gets the necklace back. And then he, like, walks into the hut of the witch and, like, sits there. And then he just sits there. And he waits for all these monsters to go inside the hut. And the door shuts and you don't know what happens.
What?
Yeah. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm not happy with this ending. I'm really not happy with this ending. So I was like, dude, I don't like this ending. I'm gonna do this, and then luckily I saved at a certain point in the game where I could make the decisions that I want to make. where I can redo them. Like because I can, at some point I'm like, dude, I think I know where I fucked up, and so I did those. I went back to my old save game and I redid it, and then I got the ending that everybody else got, which I was like, you know what, I'm happy with this. And instead of Triss, it was Yennefer. But it's gonna be the same, pretty much the same ending. Now, the third ending is what I'm trying to think. What the third ending is? I guess her being an empress, right?
Yeah, that is the third ending, is that she lives, but she becomes an empress, and from what I read, it's just Geralt and her saying, we'll meet each other someday. Someday, because her father is passing the throne to her.
But in some ways, when you think about it, it would have been good anyway if she was the empress, because she would at least, be a little more smart, with, because she's aware of what's going on in the outer world. Yeah, I'm saying.
I don't know if she actually makes a good leader, because have you seen how good she is at following orders? Not really.
I think that's exactly what would make her a good leader.
Okay, well, she just kind of seems more like the rebellious type of person, so I'm like...
And you know what's funny, too, is I think, John, if Anthony took the time and chose the next leader for Skellige, I think he would actually still go for a girl. Not from Yolmar.
Well, yeah, like, she's the logical choice.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would. Why? And why would you pick Yolmar as the...
Well, next time I'm going to. So, The Witcher's developers, CD Projekt Red, they're about to add a New Game Plus. So, I'm going to play through that and try to get the other ending.
Yeah, I'm going to try and do the extra stuff. This was $20. Is that the one, right?
No, this one's free. The New Game Plus is free.
It's basically a patch add-on, so that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't get the Empress ending. It's just Ciri becomes a Witcher, and that's pretty awesome because that's what she was doing way back at the tutorial. So you know what? That's kind of neat.
Well, I mean, from what I've read, also is she becomes the Empress, and then Geralt and whoever it is your love interest is. You both get married and the same thing in the cottage and stuff. So I'm like, well, it doesn't sound like too bad of an ending, I guess.
It's all right, yeah.
So now that I think about it too, I'm like, it doesn't sound like too bad of an ending. I mean, it's not like Geralt and Ciri still won't see each other because all she can do is just summon him every time, because she's the Empress. So it doesn't sound too bad, I guess. But
Ciri does.
Some people prefer the ending of her being a Witcher, which is fine.
I think the Witcher makes sense because she's kind of has that adventuring spirit about her. I don't see her as the kind of person drowning in politics.
Okay, well, guys, it should be noted that she's always been a Witcher. She just has and won't ever undergo the mutation.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
really?
why her eyes are normal. Yeah.
Wait, John, did you give her that romance?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, because I denied it too. I'm like, yeah, no.
You know what's gonna happen. That's kind of why I know what was gonna happen. That's why I denied it.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
You have a choice to rewrite some history here based on some vagueness from this dead body brought back to life, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna not do this romance because it's just gonna hurt her more if I rewrite history.
But you know what, though, guys? Honestly, she is a badass. Still, if the times that you get to use her.
Okay, let me tell you how ridiculous she was when it was like, okay, Ciri, you need to kill this mage that frosted this whole place during the final fight.
Be back in a second, guys. Hold on.
John, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's like, Ciri, yeah, okay, fine. Just find that mage and stop this whole place from frostbiting. And I'm like, okay, I'll know how to use my power. Everything's a one-hit kill, and I'm like, what is this? I just holy crap. She just one-hit kills everything. It's just poof, poof, warp, warps, flash, flash, stab, dead. That's it. And I'm just like, wow. Ciri's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, she's definitely a badass. For the very first time I played her, she was a badass.
Her her freaking dodging ability itself is pretty awesome. And it's like, as the game further progresses, your abilities get better and better.
Yeah.
Series abilities get better. Like, freaking this one thing called Blink, which if you hold right trigger, she just goes like, warp, and it's just like...
It just kills everything instantly? Yes.
It reminds me of something, but I can't figure out what it is.
Dragon Ball?
No, it's not Dragon Ball.
Well, kinda is like Dragon Ball.
What are you talking about, Bremen?
It's sort of like Dragon Ball. She teleports, slash, then teleport, slash, teleport, slash.
I think probably some ninja-related stuff.
Ninja Gaiden.
Could be.
Okay, Bremen Gaiden.
Actually, Ninja Gaiden sounds like that would totally be it.
Yeah. It's like, holy crap, Siri can do lots of great things.
Yeah, she becomes really badass.
Don't piss her off if she's the queen, because, you know, she could just warp to your place, kill you, then warp back.
Kidding? What about being her husband? Oh my god. She'd be like, don't, you know, no more sleeping in the doghouse. It's like, you're sleeping who knows where.
Yeah.
She'll just send you anywhere. You're like, honey, I'm sorry.
Don't piss off Yennefer, she'll dump you in the lake.
How cool, though, was that part where you're traveling through other universes?
I was really hoping there was like our world in there, because you know how when you first met Ciri for the first time and finally ended that damn fetch quest, she was like, "Yeah, Avlok and I went to another world, but you wouldn't believe me." And Geralt was like, "Well, go ahead and tell me." Yeah, this is a world where people have metal in their heads and they have these little megascopes that fire things. So they're referring to earbud radios and guns. And I was like, whoa, that's... And when you were driving through the sword, I was hoping, like, can we go to a world that looks like ours? That would just completely trip Geralt out.
That would be really
like
fucking
crazy.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I do remember her saying that, yeah.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, pretty cool.
Yeah, but you never do. You just travel through a lot of locales that look like Dragon Age and Mass Effect. So, you know, barren worlds and Dragon
honestly,
Age Desert.
Like, the only boss fight that I thought was kind of annoying was that fucking sorcerer guy from, the Wild Hunt guy. Because he kept fucking, teleporting someone to go, teleporting someone to go. Dude, son of a bitch.
The actual king and then that one general, both of those battles were badass.
Yeah, but the one that was annoying, I thought, was that wizard guy. I'm like,
yeah,
motherfucker.
It totally was.
He wouldn't stand. He wouldn't stand still. Two, he just kept summoning the damn freaking golems all the time. So you couldn't get a lock on him every time.
Yeah, that one was really time consuming.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it wasn't that hard. It was just time consuming. And
no,
it
wasn't.
Boring.
I wouldn't say it was a tough fight. It was just, yeah, you're right. It was boring because you're like, okay, so I'm just gonna try and strike you. I only get 2 hits out of it. Every time you only get 2 hits out of it. So that was an annoying fight for me. The king one, yeah, Eridan was a good fight. I like that one.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but for some reason he was easy for me.
Yeah, he was easy. It was just really fun and epic.
Yeah, it was. Where he'd grab you, toss you to a freaking different world.
Yeah.
He just randomly just grabs you. You're like, what the fuck? And you're in a different place. So yeah, I kind of wished maybe that's what might be a little bit of the element that I'm missing from The Witcher that I think they should add is epic boss fights. I think that's what it's missing. But I mean, for what it's worth, it's still a good game. But
I think it's quite fantastic.
With
the exception of all that stuff before the city of Novigrad, because the city of Novigrad, you're still hunting for Ciri. Because it's still the usual, well, I know someone who knows someone who may know someone. If you do them a favor, the serious fetch quest continues. Although, in Novigrad, it's actually not as bad because it's a case of... Dijkstra's kind of funny because it's a case of, I run this bathhouse, where's my money? Help me find my money. The witch hunt stuff is like, oh crap, and you're helping Triss get the witches out, and...
Yeah, I wonder,
and the whole stupid gotta go find Dandelion.
Yeah, I know, but I still love, I think this is pretty obvious coming from me, but my favorite parts of The Witcher was that freaking, the unicorn scene, on the
Oh God,
unicorn,
yeah.
and then, like you got the bang pyramid, so you're like, oh, really? There's an option to bang her? Alright, we'll do that. Then you get to bang another girl, you're like, alright, cool, we'll do that too. And then later on, you're like, oh, the brothel? Yeah, another elven girl? Why not?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that's your favorite part about the game.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts of the game, though, is that you can have Geralt. You get to make a play. That's like one of my favorite things about
That
the
part
entire
was
thing.
really cool.
It's just like you get to make a play. You got to draw someone out, but you have to get a message out somehow. So we're gonna make a play. You get to choose the actors. You get to choose if Geralt does a really cruddy job with his rhymes.
Yep,
It's
I remember that.
fantastic, and
It
also
was
that
really,
little,
really, really creative and really well written.
You know what's funny, guys, is from what I'm hearing now, from what it sounds like, especially from Anthony. Because remember, John, when we first talked to Anthony about this game, he was, like, yay. And then now I'm hearing all this, like, oh, it's amazing,
Well,
it's a great game.
The
Well,
reason
the
for
problem
that
is-
is because he got further into the game.
Look, if you
like,
asked me during the first 10 hours of the game, and you could check the game cast and that kind of stuff when me, Bronson, and Ray were kind of not feeling it, we said a lot of things that, why we didn't like the game. For Bronson and Ray, they couldn't stand the game anymore because it was just constant, where the heck is Ciri? It didn't have a good hook. Like, Bronson's like, The Witcher's
but then
okay,
again,
but
this
he
is
doesn't...
Bronson we're talking about, though, man.
Well, even then,
So it has
for the
different
three
taste
of
for
us,
games, I think.
for the three of us there, we were kind of still at the beginning of the game, and for Bronson and Ray, they just couldn't go any further because they were tired of forcing themselves forward, hoping that one day they could finally get to the part that everyone's stoked about, and they just finally gave up because, well, at that point, if you're just tired of the game for 5 or 10 hours, why not just play something else?
No,
Which
sure.
is a valid point, because for me, like, I almost thought, I'm not feeling The Witcher, but I could play Batman. And it wasn't until I reached the city of Novigrad that was like, okay, Novigrad's like, okay, look, the city will be awesome. Just do some side quests. Because one of the mistakes I made was that I tried to force myself through the story. So I had no money, no good equipment. And, I was getting underleveled, and the quests was like suggesting levels like they're quite a little too high. So I'm just like, okay, fine. I'll do side quests. I'll get Geralt to shave his beard that will grow back anyway, so okay, let's not shave anymore.
No, well, I like that, though. I like that it has that little touches to it where you
yeah,
cut
I
your
thought
hair.
that was kind of cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the thing
you
is
cut
that
your
I
hair
found a
super
barber in Novigrad, but I can't find him on the map again, so I'm like, okay, well, his beard looks alright anyway.
That's the part where I find was kind of annoying with The Witcher, actually, for me at least, was you would find these, like, the blacksmiths and all this stuff. Then when you go look at the map just to find them again, you're like, what? Where are they?
Yeah, it's just because there's so
Novigrad
many
is a-
things on the map.
Yeah, there's like a marker for everything in the city.
Well,
And-
like Novigrad has just 3 blacksmiths as it is.
John, you're sounding muffled.
Oh, sorry. How's that?
Much better.
Okay, sorry.
He was
Yeah,
taking off
Novigrad's
the...
got like 3 blacksmiths as it is.
Yeah, that's true, and I found them randomly, actually. And then when you look at the map, you're like, dude, I don't see them. Where the fuck are they now?
Oh yeah. Speaking of finding them randomly, there's this one thing in the game that kind of bothered me where you would just meet a random stranger and this is like, Geralt, how are you? And I'm like, do I know you? It's like I walk into this one blacksmith's place and I'm like, ooh, a blacksmith. Perfect. I'll go in here and the guy just somehow knows Geralt. Like, yeah, I've got this problem. Yo, help me. And Geralt's like,
Well,
okay.
yeah.
And then I found out the quest was like 10 or 15 levels above me.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
think it's also you gotta think of it this way too, Anthony. It's like a world where you're a Witcher, you're well known, you're popular, people know you. They need to
No,
describe
but
what
he's
you look
talking like Geralt and this guy have talked before, and I'm like, do I know you? Because I didn't play the old Witchers.
There are moments when that has happened to me too, like with Vernon Roach and all these other guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
Hey,
I don't
that
know
kind of
you guys.
reminded me about something. Did you guys ever fight that duelist who was trying to challenge you?
Yeah, that stupid idiot.
Yeah, did you, Anthony?
I finished
What
that one.
duelist now?
The dude
There's a
keeps
random
challenging you.
duelist. Yeah, he just finds you and challenges you to a duel. In order to prove his love to a woman, he needs to kill 100 swordsmen.
Yep, I remember that guy. Beat the shit out of
That is
that
a
guy.
really screwed up way to express.
Well,
love.
Yeah, well, Anthony, I gave him 5 tries to live, and then finally just killed him. He kept
really?
so like, yeah, we would duel,
I made
and
him
then
live.
I would beat him, and then he'd run away. That happened like 5 times, and then finally I just didn't let up, and I just killed him.
Yeah, because I think the last one was he comes in with like a fucking steel shield.
Yeah, this one was in Novigrad is when I killed him.
Me, I let him live. I said, look, man. I had Geralt use his power of talking to people because I upgraded.
Or Igni, or no, it wasn't Igni, it was
Axie.
Axie, that's right.
Yeah, I used that one just to convince him, like, dude, you know what? It's not working for you. Give up. That's pretty much what I did.
Can I just tell you that stuff comes in real handy because it can save you money too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, pay me. You will go away. Yes, sir, I will go away. And then he goes away. Isn't that handy?
It helped me with guards too, like when you went through like those couple of stages where, you do have to talk to Horse and Junior, and there's guards there, and you're like, you just said look, and I just used Axie, and then they both let me in. It's like, look, just let us in already, okay, we'll let you in. It was pretty cool. Made it easier for me instead of fighting. Although there was one part of the stage, the part where you have to kill. Did you guys kill the Horse and Junior? Didn't you?
Yeah, dude, I fucking brutalized him.
Yeah, I killed him too. But I
Crazy motherfucker.
my deal was I did instead of doing it the safe way, I fucking just stormed the whole fucking mansion and killed everybody in there.
Yeah, I think I did that too.
Yeah, it was me and Triss.
I just remembered I decapitated Horson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That happened.
Which guy? Who?
Horson's the guy who like killed and tortured all those prostitutes.
I let him live.
You let him live, huh?
I let him live, but he had zero credibility left. Is a bum on the streets with kids throwing rocks at him.
Oh, okay, that's something.
And Siri was very pleased with that because she thinks that's a fate worse than death.
Oh, well, me and John killed him.
Yeah, I killed that guy, dude. Like, I didn't think twice.
Because he was like, spare me. I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you want me to spare you when I'm in a house full of dead prostitutes? No way, man.
What about the other dude, John? Did you run into that other guy who does the same thing? Well, he doesn't kill them. He tortures them. Prostitutes.
Yeah, which other guy?
You mean tortures mages?
No. He was a guy, a rich dude. When you went to it was one of the houses that had the prostitutes in it too, and he was there, and he was.
Oh, you're talking about that killer.
Not
the
the
guy
killer.
who not the killer.
No, because I killed him too. But I'm
yeah, I
saying,
killed him too.
But there's there's things that we both that most of us didn't do then that we didn't run into. Because I did run into this one dude who he tortures the girls. He doesn't torture us and kill them, but he treats them badly. And I didn't kill him, but I brainwashed his mind instead.
What?
Yeah. So there was
see, like The Witcher 3 is such a big game. Like we can sit here and talk about this, and every one of us has done something that the others haven't.
Yeah, like for example, that one right there.
Exactly.
There was one too where I helped a dwarf and a human, where they were blaming each other, and then you find out when you investigate it, you find out it was the dwarf's fault. But I said, you know what? No, I'm gonna make it fair. I just said no, I don't know what the cause was, and then everybody just sorts it on their own, because then honestly, I kind of cheated because I did it the first time, and I used the same spot. I did it the first time, and I told the truth. I said, oh, this was the dwarf's fault. Because it was like a racism thing, where, you had to make a choice. Would you side with the dwarf because of racism, or would you...
Yeah.
And So, but I said that I told the truth. I'm like, oh, really was the dwarf's fault, and they said they were gonna hang him. So I was like, I don't like that. So I loaded it again, and then I did it the other way. And everybody, it's just basically they leave the investigation, like they just leave it as is. So
For sure.
yeah, there was times where I felt like, you know what, fuck it, I want to do that again. And it's just sometimes those parts of those storylines are things that you do that you go to tell yourself, well, you know what, I don't like this. Fuck this. I'm gonna do this again. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am curious. Did you guys do the fighters contract?
I
Where
didn't
you
finish. I didn't finish that one.
No. How about you, Anthony?
I don't think I did.
The Fist of Fury thing.
Yeah, that's right. The Fist of Fury.
Yeah.
You guys totally should because it is really fun. Like
Well, I can still
you
do
have
it
to
now.
challenge. You have to challenge the Skellige champion and then the entire Northern Realms champion, and like the Skellige champion's a freaking bear. So you fisticuffs with a bear. And then after that, the whole Northern Realms champion's a freaking rock troll.
What?
And you fisticuffs with the rock troll. It's so insane.
There was one though that I remember when I did partial of that storyline or that mission, and there was one in Skellige where he goes, "Hey, dude, can you do me a favor? My girlfriend, the girl over there, who I really like, is watching."
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And I said, "Okay."
Oh, you died? You took a dive?
I took a dive.
Dude, I beat the crap out of that guy.
I don't know. I was like, all right, fine. You're doing, you want to impress your lady, I guess,
Yeah, I was like, no way, man.
You were an ass.
Like, it was bad enough that I lost to Dandelion, or what do they call him, the Crimson Avenger?
Oh, you lost to that one?
Yeah, I let him kick the crap out of me.
Well, I just hit him once. He was like, "Oh!" I'm like, "What? That's it?"
Oh, freaking Dandelion!
Did
I don't
you
know
even do
whether
those, Anthony? Sorry, Anthony. Still there, buddy?
Yes, I'm still here.
Did you do that? The Dandelion's little requests?
I don't think I did.
Wow.
With the Crimson Avenger?
Look, I kind of like rushed through the story like crazy.
Oh, okay, so you did.
Once I found Ciri, the story got a little too good. So everything else just kind of took a back seat, including Yennefer and various other things.
Yeah, because I think the Dandelion storyline, doesn't it lead up to that serial killer, right, John?
What?
The Dandelion storyline that you do, it leads up to that serial killer dude. Because I remember.
I think that's right. Which
No,
would explain...
because remember that little girl, that bard chick gets beat up by that dude, that killer.
Oh, you're talking about the guy who like pours coals or something down people's throats.
Yeah,
right.
She barely survived. Basically, she barely survived.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, now I remember. He pours burning coals down people's throats.
Preferably women, actually. It's women.
Yeah, that shit's brutal. But I'm pretty sure I fucked his shit up too.
Well, I killed the guy. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
It's like the last one. You chase after him and shit. And I made sure I found that dude and fucking fuck the shit out of him, man. Killed him.
Yeah.
Because that's just wrong, dude. That's just wrong.
Dude, yeah, it really was.
So,
well, all right. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
Well, we already went through the endings. We already went through pretty much most of the side quests.
And most of the main quests.
Yeah, how about the monster hunts? Monster hunts, I mean, they get more interesting, don't they?
Yeah, actually, monster hunts are my favorite part about The Witcher. They're awesome. I've done every single one I've come across.
But you don't get to fight a dragon at all, do you?
Oh, dude, I haven't found one. Such a bummer. So, I had a quest where you do have to chase a dragon. And so, the way it works out is you go into some place in Skellige and you talk to the person who contract up, and they're like, yeah, we saw the dragon, it killed, this guy, and then blah, 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 blah. So I go and I hunt it down, and it's a freaking wyvern.
Ah.
Yeah, Geralt's like, these guys don't know the difference between.
Yeah,
like,
you know what's funny about that too is what makes it even more kind of weird is in The Witcher 2 there was an actual dragon.
Oh yeah, you kill it. Yeah, the dragon. Well, the dragon is controlled by the Sisters of the Lodge, which is like a group of mages.
Well, no, but my point is, in Witcher 2 you got to fight a dragon. Why in Witcher 3 you don't get to fight one?
I am still hunting. Hopefully they do something with DLC.
They might actually, because what's funny is the best thing about what I like about The Witcher now, even more about it, is the fact that yes, they give you all these free content, and then they give you really good ones, even if the ones you got to pay for are well worth it.
Oh so, yeah, I mean
these guys are awesome.
Like combined, they're supposed to be the size of The Witcher 2.
Yeah, like these guys are awesome. They make it worth your while. So I'm actually happy that I bought The Witcher. I'm glad about it, and it's one of those games where you're like, well, this is actually worth it. This really is worth it.
Yeah, I got to get the season pass. I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, it's still. I mean, yeah, I honestly will say right now, as of right now in my list, this is Game of the Year to me. This is the Game of the Year.
Yeah, I agree.
But the thing is, though, when Metal Gear Ground Zero or Phantom Pain comes out, do we count that as like a Game of the Year? But it's already near the end of the year, though.
No, of course we count it as Game of the Year.
Really?
It's just whether, we'll do it up until the very day that we do Game of the Year, right, Anthony?
Okay. Anthony.
Sorry, what?
For Game of the Year, every game is counted for Game of the Year all the way up until we actually talk about it, right?
Yeah.
Because the reason why I say this is because after seeing Metal Gear, Phantom Pain, it depends. It really depends. So it might be part, I don't know. I might change my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, last year we did it in like November, didn't we? Like November or December.
Somewhere around there, I think.
Yeah.
Because you still got all these other great games coming out too, And right now, like I said, Witcher's on my top is the Game of the Year on my list. Second would be Batman. Batman's on my second. But it might change because Phantom Pain comes out and it looks fucking awesome already too. And you got, there's Rainbow Six Siege. There's all
Halo.
Halo. There's other ones that come out that they're still Tomb Raider. All these other games that. They look impressive, but you never know. We could probably still be sticking with The Witcher, but you don't know until we get to play these other games. As of right now, though, when it comes to the way I see it, though, for me, guys, is when it comes to replayability, downloadable content, Witcher wins.
Yeah,
for me, at least.
I mean, I totally agree.
That's my opinion.
Especially, it is definitely the prettiest game I've ever played, too.
Oh, man. There's no denying this game is so pretty. I mean, they actually patched it to the point where on the PC, I could actually play everything turned on without the frame rate crying. And it was a huge patch, too.
So, Anthony, I was playing it earlier when we first started this. And I turned, so everything is on as high as it can be, except for Hairworks. Hairworks is off. But now I can run it at 60 frames. I don't know if you've tried messing with your
They did a lot to optimize it, especially with, like I said, patch 1.07. Because that actually went from, oh man, the frame rate's unstable, it's hiccuping everywhere, and Hairworks is terrible on performance. They actually optimized it to the point where you could actually... Game looks absolutely beautiful, and it's like, wow, this isn't bad. It's very beautiful. And it fixed some bugs too, except sometimes this game would just crash 5 times in a row on me.
Yeah.
This game still crashes, and it is very annoying.
Well, I mean, it's you have your faults in it. I mean, like, are you able to run Batman pretty well now?
No, they haven't done shit to Batman yet.
Really? They haven't fixed that problem yet?
No, they're still not selling it.
Wow, interesting. You would think they want to make more sales, they would do that, but okay, well.
Yeah,
right.
they were very not good with the release. They botched it.
Sorry, kind of getting off a little bit of topic here, but although I have heard on the Batman thing where they're bringing out a new another extra season pass where extra villains will be on it, like Mr. Freeze and Croc and Ra's al Ghul, which would be kind of nice. But anyway.
I'm not gonna get the DLC for that game. I feel like Warner Brothers rips people off.
See, and this is the example of why The Witcher, when it comes to downloadable content, they're good.
Oh yeah, I mean The Witcher has got the best support. It has the best developer support out of any game I've seen in recent memory.
Yeah, so that alone right there is hard to deny. When it comes to replayability and the content, because they're giving you so much content, and extra stuff for free for one of them, so like the new costumes, you don't have to fucking pay for costumes, thank God.
Yeah.
I don't have to shell out money just so I can have a different look for Siri or whoever. Which, by the way, the new look for Triss, I gotta admit, pretty nice, very nice.
Well, Anthony, do you have any more thoughts?
I think the game is quite fantastic. I really like it, but I don't know if I could quite say the game doesn't blow my mind away, but it's really good, assuming you get past that really boring stuff before Novigrad.
Well, you could always stick the controller in your crotch. I mean, it'll vibrate, so it won't blow your mind, but it'll. Yeah.
Oh God.
I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that.
Yeah, that's probably best.
But it's really good. It's just like, to me, the part that really kind of stops me from like throwing my full support behind it is it doesn't have a good hook.
You mean the beginning part?
Yeah, it needs a good hook, and that's how you grab people's attention. A first impression is a big deal because the first impression is a big deal because first impressions are hard to change. So
yeah, but see, here the way I think of it too, dude. Sorry to interrupt, but the way I also think of it too is you could also have a very good impression in the beginning, and then it can be pure shit in the end, and
that is very true. But if you don't start off well, the first impression is gonna bite really hard, and you're just gonna be like, okay, well maybe the rest of the game is like this, and everyone else is kind of crazy. I mean, like Dragon Age had a pretty good hook, but after that, the moment they threw you onto the hinterlands, okay, not too sure now. But I really like The Witcher. I think it's a well-rounded game. It plays pretty well. Looks gorgeous. Got some great audio work, and the story, well, if you look at side quests and post-fetch quests, not bad.
Plus, what I really like about it too is, unlike some other games where they go, well, if you make this choice, it'll make a difference in the world, and then you don't notice it. Anthony knows what I'm talking about here. You know which game I'm talking about. You make the choices that you made, you do the things that you do, and then you go, okay, what happened? What effect did I really do to this world? And then you really notice nothing. Nothing at all.
Yeah.
So at least with The Witcher, you could tell that there's a difference what you do.
The Witcher 3 is the first Western RPG that I have really liked in a long time, because I played Skyrim, thought it was overrated. I played Dragon Age, that's overrated. Shadow Mordor was kind of nice, but
Played WoW, that's overrated.
I wouldn't say it's overrated. I feel like there's probably some design things that's kind of bothered me. Like, I haven't really played Western RPGs in a long time. So, and I haven't found one in a long time. But with The Witcher 3, yep, first Western RPG in a really long time I really liked.
And John?
Yeah?
Your opinion of this? Hello? We losing?
John, opinion of The Witcher 3.
I gave it a 10 out of 10. Go on TGA and check out my review. Well, it's not perfect. I don't give 10. No, I don't give a game a 10 out of 10 because I think it's perfect. I give a game a 10 out of 10 because I think it's as perfect as games get.
Well, I think you also mentioned that the way you mentioned it, I think it was on the review, where if a game gets you hooked to the point where you want to keep playing, then that to you is a 10 out of 10 because it makes you good.
I felt like The Witcher was like The Witcher has the most realized game world in any video game, and also it has the best side quests out of any game I've ever played.
Yeah, even though some of them aren't, they're not all as good as people may think
but most of them are.
Yeah.
Let me put it this way. I don't think I've ever seen a world as alive as The Witcher, except in maybe two places, and that is San Andreas and Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption. If anything, this game actually kind of reminds the world of this game kind of felt about as alive as Red Dead Redemption, because Red Dead Redemption somehow managed to turn a desert and make it look absolutely amazing. And here in The Witcher, it's like, oh my goodness, everything, it's like stuff like when a storm rolls in and all the trees are swaying to the wind. I'm like, I have never seen any other game do that.
Yeah.
Where every tree sways to the gusts of the wind. And it feels like every branch and every leaf is moving. And I was just, as far as graphical things go, that's very impressive.
Yeah, and the monsters I thought were pretty cool. They were pretty cool. And some little bits of stuff that I sort of noticed with The Witcher when it came to the way the world is little tidbits for me. Was like some of them were kind of based on all these fairy tales, like Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, the gingerbread house with House and Gretel type thing. I sort of saw those in some of those in the world of The Witcher. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I did.
Yeah, no, I thought the overall writing was very good. I mean, yeah, there was a little bit of slouch in the beginning, but I think the side quests made up for that. And Bremen, whatever you're doing, you need to go push the talk.
There you go. Alright, anyway, go on.
The writing, I kind of feel like probably had a bit of a hiccup at the end, because it's like, hey girl, it's me, Siri. Yeah, there's something that I didn't tell you about. White Frost is still here. Gotta go, bye. And I'm like, wait, I spent this whole time thinking the Wild Hunt was the problem. That was only 75% the problem. The other 25% is the White Frost. Really?
I don't know. I kind of liked that. I thought it was kind of cool.
Because it was like, you went through that whole trouble, you think the elf betrayed you, but he didn't betray you, but maybe he did, but no, he didn't. So you went through the Wild Hunt. Oh, wait, he just took off with Ciri, so therefore you're about to kill him. But no, wait, Ciri steps in and saves the day, and I'm just like,
you were going to kill Avalok.
Geralt was highly suggesting that Avalok was going to be killed no matter what from his really bad mood. And Ciri comes in and says, wait!
Oh, so there's no difference? There's no,
No.
Okay. I thought there was going to be a difference, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to spare you, Avalok. So that's what I did. But I guess there's no difference, so never mind.
Well, I guess we'll just have to beg to differ on that, Anthony, because I thought it was really good.
It's really good. It was just, like I said, it was a minor hiccup.
Yeah.
It was just a minor piece of suddenness that was like, all of a sudden Ciri just walked in and say, "Will you listen to me?" And Geralt's like, "Wait, what?" And that was kind of like my reaction. I was like, wait, what? Wait, I thought Avalon was betrayed. I thought we were what's going on?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's like, well, actually the Wild Hunt is dead, but the White Frost still exists. I'm like, oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of all the cocaines in the world. White Frost, you know. Anyway.
But yeah, the stories, once you find Ciri, it gets a lot better.
Yeah.
But that is a lot of freaking waiting.
I mean,
that is a crazy amount of waiting. I'm sorry, like 10, 15 hours just so the main story finally gets good. Because once it gets good, it gets really good. Almost to the point where side quests kind of almost don't matter anymore. But that being said, 15 hours. I'm sorry, but if you're a busy adult, do you really have the time to just shove through that much crud just to finally get a good story?
I think it is too, because you're trying to make. Well, I think what they're trying to do, because they want people to still, or have a reason to why to hunt or kill things. You know what I mean? Because you got
15 hours of go for Ciri so you can see the world. Okay, but I kind of feel like there are better ways of seeing the world than to just keep padding out. Go find Ciri by traveling the world. That doesn't sound very appealing to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there are some hiccups in the game. There are some, little bit of problems here and there when you look at it. But all in all, though, the enjoyment after it, like playing through it, I liked it. Hell, I even decked out my horse. I bought that new the DLC that they had, where you get to get the Skellige armor for your horse. I bought that one. I didn't buy it. I mean, you have to buy it from the merchant after you download it. But then I bought the Skellige armor, and then I told you guys recently that my new game that I did with a good ending was, I fucking collected that fucking Urson armor, that Witcher of the Bear thing. I completed that armor. That looks badass, by the way, people. That armor looks badass. I like it. I like it more than the other armors I've seen of the Witcher armors. That was my favorite armor. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I currently have Witch Hunter armor.
Okay, you mean the one that she made for you, that the blacksmith made for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony, you didn't do that one, Anthony? By the way, yeah, you didn't say if you did that one.
Did what?
The blacksmith, where she was gonna make you an armor.
At Crow's Nest.
Nope.
Remember there was a dwarf there? There was a dwarf. Oh, you didn't do that one? Okay.
Yeah, if you have time and you want to play a little bit more of The Witcher, she gives you a really nice set of armor.
Yep, she does.
And that quest, since you're probably high level, that quest is gonna take you like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's not hard at all. It's not as hard as you would think it is. But then again, for me, I told John a while back when I was playing the first time, I said, I ended up doing some of the missions low level because I fucking leveled up my force field. So that shit helped me through all the missions. It's so funny. When I first played it, I thought, I'll do offense. I'll do fire. The Igni. And then after a while, I'm like, you know what? After I read all the things the force field can do, Quen, and I read all the things it can do, I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna go defense. So I just did that, and it worked out fine for me. I think that was one of the key things that helped me through the fights when some of the missions I did that were requiring you to be like level 26 or whatnot.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is pretty much The Witcher in a nutshell, right? We haven't, not much to spoil there. It's all been spoiled already.
Anyone else have anything to say? Anthony Bremen?
Well, for me, for now, this is my game of the year. Like I said, it could change because, Phantom Pain and all these other games coming out. It could change. But as far as replayability and the DLCs, this thing kicks ass. This game kicks ass.
Yeah. All right,
else?
Anthony, you want to take us out?
Sure. So that is the spoiler cast of The Witcher 3. We have spoiled a lot. Because your fetch quest of Ciri, you will find Ciri. and she could die.
Also,
or maybe she won't die.
and I mean, if for all those listening to, we may have missed a few other missions here and there, but then again, it's because there's so many. There's so many that things that you could have done. So yeah, we may or may not have covered all of it.
So play it.
What's that?
Experience it for yourself.
Yeah, play it for yourself. See what you can get out of it. Try out the different endings, I guess. I'm happy with mine, so I'm not doing it again. I'm just gonna play through and just hunt stuff. That's what I'm gonna be doing until I buy that DLC. The extra missions. I'll do that too. But yeah. Anything else?
Nope. It's all yours, Anthony.
Okay.
Take us away, Anthony.
All right. So that is the spoiler cast on The Witcher. We might do one on Batman. I'm not really sure what the plan on that one is. But we'll see. But yes, The Witcher, there's a lot in this game, and I'm pretty sure we only probably touched on 5 or 10% of it all.
Yeah.
And then the expansions.
Think about this too, guys. The first time Anthony was kind of about this game, and then now he's like, yeah, this is good. So it kind of says something.
Like I said, there's a disclaimer. There's an asterisk on that. After 10 to 15 hours of going through a lot of boring stuff to reach that good stuff.
Yeah, but you can enjoy the hunting and the Witcher quests. So
Yeah.
For me, it's still worth it.
Yeah, there's still some things for me to do. Like, I still need to actually do contracts.
Yeah, continually have sex with the prostitutes over there in the brothel house. I mean, Not that, we all do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think The Witcher is really good. Is it Game of the Year? I don't know. I feel like there could be something better, maybe or maybe not. Because I haven't really seen much this year that I played that got me excited, but for now, The Witcher is kind of at the top of the list.
All right.
So that's been The Witcher for the spoiler cast. So
you have a good night, people.
Good night, everybody.